Hi, everybody. This is Vincentians Thinking Out Loud. It's a series. This is about the fourth or fifth of our series. We've taken a little break. My name is Father Dan Bordick, and I'm priest chaplain at Catholic Campus Ministry here at DePaul. And part of my job is to work as the overall supervisor of the soup kitchen that we at DePaul do with the parish, St. Vincent de Paul Parish. And with me is Nelson Mendoza. And so Nelson, Nelson's job is entitled the coordinator of the Elizabeth Van Seton purchases and volunteers. All right, so there's a lot of hours each week, anywhere from up to 20 hours a week, which is significant for a full-time graduate student in music. So, Nelson, you took this position in July. We were already here in Chicago, as the rest of the United States, in the midst of this COVID pandemic. So what motivated you to apply for this position and of coordinator? Could you talk about that?
Well, what motivates me to apply to this job is that I like to be involved with the university. This is already my third position during my studies out in Nepal, and I think it aligns very well with my skills and all building also my resume in management positions.
Mhm.
And besides that, also because we're in the middle of a pandemic, I need a income source. So I'm here in my own with my wife, and we're supporting ourselves. We hold scholarships in the university, but we're also paying part of the tuition.
Okay. Well, could you describe briefly what your duties are as the coordinator of the soup kitchen?
Of course. Now we are opening the kitchen 3 times a week. I work as a lead volunteer twice a week. So I'm in charge of preparing meals, hot drinks, also desserts and all that for somewhat between 50 and 100 guests per day. So wait a second that I running low of battery. Didn't know. Okay, better. Um, I also manage a database of volunteers, which are it comprise uh, parishioners and also people from the community, from Lincoln Park community. I keep relationships with business partners from Lincoln Park community and also donors like um, Charwells, Costco, and yeah, that kind of business.
All right. Well, good. So it's both internal and external. So the people you manage the volunteers by reaching out to them by email, I guess, or through the bulletin of the parish, or a number of different ways. But they sign on usually using the internet,
Yep.
a database, and in the kitchen, right? There's a minimum number of volunteers together. 4 people, no more than 4, and you're keeping physical distance from each other. You're all wrapped up and with gloves, and so it's a lot different now than it would be normally outside of the pandemic. But I seem to be able to get enough volunteers to be able to do 3 days a week, which is really nice.
It is.
Yeah. So, how have these experiences as the coordinator of the soup kitchen? You're working with volunteers, and your interaction, you're getting to know the people that you serve, which are many times these are people who live on the street. Say most of them live on the street. Yeah. So, how have these experiences changed you, or changed certain parts of how you see things?
Well, this experience has changed me a lot, to be honest. Before I started the position, I used to see the population or the community that we work for, as something uh, out of my environment. It was something that it was a problem of the city. I used to see it as a problem. And I feel ashamed now because I used to see it like that. But now with this position, I start to get in touch with them. It's not just a part of the society anymore. There's names, there's people, there's human beings with emotion, needs, and 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 also stories. Stories.
Yeah.
Um, I when I start back in July, as any relationship, we start with some hermetism. We were a little bit like not that close, but since I start with enthusiasm, like being friendly, greeting the people, and they saw that my motivation, they start to open their doors and
Hmm.
to introduce themselves and start to say stories. We receive people from Latin America, East Europe, also Black folks. So it's been a really nice experience that has changed me a lot internally and externally now.
Yeah, yeah. You and I work together pretty closely each week. We talk at least once a week, usually more than that. And we not only talk about how your experience of people, especially people that are poor, people that have the need for food and clothing, and oftentimes shelter. A lot of the people that come live out on the streets, right? They don't even have a place to stay at night, which is really tough, especially during the winter. But um, could you describe how you reflect on what you've been doing, and perhaps how that has helped you do it better, or we part of what our program is here is that we explore, see, judge, act, or these like this like three-stage way of reflecting on our experience, on what we actually do, and at the end of it, taking a look at those practices and seeing what I might want to do differently or better, or what I might want to study, or who I might want to talk to help me out. So, could you describe a little bit how you reflect on your job and your experience with these people that you're getting to know, as not as a group but as persons?
Well, what I do is that I apply a principle or approach called see, judge, act. So at the beginning, I just see the situation or the environment or the status of the on an event or of the people that we serve, and try to investigate and see if they what they need. That's the first thing. See, and just make like a assessment of the situation. So then, I go home, and as I work, I judge what I do. If I do it well, if I don't do it well, I try to remember as I treat them, and if that really fit their needs, and if I doing well, if that aligns with the principles that my parents taught me, or based on my belief or my religion. Is that okay? Is that the way that I was taught? Is that the way that you guide me? Is that the way that aligns with Christ's values or the Catholic values? So that's the way that I try to focus or approach this. And at the end, we have the last step, that which is the act. So once I reevaluate everything, there's always a change. There's
Hmm.
always a change.
Yeah, sometimes the changes I imagine are pretty subtle, just like how you look at things, or maybe a little bit more patience, or maybe a different way of working with your co-volunteers, with the people that come. But at any rate, you're finding that that kind of reflection has been helpful, huh, to you?
Yeah, I can give you an example if you want. I remember that at the beginning, and I started to serve them, and I used to hear a little bit of the stories. Sometimes they kept my attention, sometimes it's not. I wasn't like um, investing that much of my time because I was focused on the work in providing the food.
Yeah, yeah,
But now I said like, well, let's hear what they have to say. And then I realized that they are also there or going to the kitchen because they need to be heard. They have a story to tell. They want to share their thoughts. They have pretty strong political views, and also yeah, it's very funny. But they have a good arguments. You can't talk with whatever you want with them,
yeah.
and it's nice. You can see that right in their eyes when they are talking with you. Uh, that fills my heart, definitely.
Yeah. Well, that's good. It sounds to me one of the best benefits of the of what you're doing and how you're doing it and how you reflect on it is that you're enjoying it more and more too.
Yes,
It's
definitely.
so it becomes instead of just a duty or a job, it becomes a joy and an important part of your life. So there's a lot of benefits of investing your energy and the time in this. So our time has run out. We try to keep these things pretty brief. But Nelson, thanks again for meeting with me. Again, I hope to interview with you sometime in the future too, maybe about something you'd like to talk about or with me a little bit more. But
Sure.
I appreciate you coming in here and take care of yourself. Stay well, and thank you very much for your service at the university, at the parish, in our neighborhood.
Thank you
Okay.
so much for giving me that this opportunity to share my experience.
All right, and great, and thank you all for listening, being with us during these minutes, and we'll see you the next time.
Bye.
Goodbye.